Welcome to Sydney Harbour, the scene for the climax of the first ever SuperFoiler Grand Prix. Here on these waters, the first winner of the Ben Lexon Trophy was crowned. But this marine playground didn't just provide the backdrop for the first circuit winner, it was also the testing ground for a pioneering new machine, the likes of which the world had never seen before. This is where the SuperFoiler was born.
Gust on, 3, 2, 1, pump on now.
The SuperFoiler is an absolute beast.
Coming up, no lower. No more pressure here.
High-powered, super quick, very hard to manage.
Jib's on a little there.
The power of the SuperFoiler is just insane.
No better pressure out here.
The G's when you're out in the trapeze like no other boat I've ever sailed.
Go forwards a lot.
Power in the SuperFoiler is like hopping in the fastest car and going from 0 to 100 in a few seconds.
When things go wrong in the SuperFoiler, it's like no other boat. It goes from a little bad to very bad in a very short period of time.
If you basically stand on the roof of your house and jump off and land on your back, that's pretty much what it feels like as you go down the mine.
Oh! From the bow, yeah, we're all good.
If you mess things up, it can go bad pretty quickly.
I guess the best way to describe it is probably violent.
It is exhilarating, it is thrilling, and I just can't wait to have more.
You've got some of the absolute best dinghy, skiff and multi-hull sailors in the world.
These boats are going to push us as sailors further than we ever have before.
The SuperFoiler is the latest and greatest boat on the water. It's going to be fast and it's going to be exciting to watch.
The SuperFoiler Grand Prix was a truly national circuit, with jaw-dropping racing across 5 iconic destinations. The ambitious cross-country road trip brought the best sailors from around the world to home shores. First up, South Australia. For the first time in the circuit's history, racing on Adelaide's outer harbour. For the debuts, fireworks were frosted, with the weather only allowing one race, where Euroflex immediately underlined her favourite status. As the Dream Team dazzled, Record Point, Pavement and ID battled, while Tech 2 was in a tangle of a different kind. Luke Parkinson recovering enough to get her romping.
Here we go, lads. Drive it home. Here we go, sending it hard. Low hooks.
But not for long.
That's what chaos looks like.
Nick, the whole back part of the hull has sheared off. The rudder's gone.
You all right? Sam, you all right, mate?
Well, they seem to know what's going on more than what we do as we play this through, and it all happens so quickly, Tess.
Sam's done so well to hang on there and just grab the front bar as he flies around the front. That back part's completely come off the hull, Nick.
Broke the back of the yacht off. We're going to sink if we don't flip it over. We're going to sink the yacht if we don't flip it over. What difference is it going to make?
Aidan Menzies an early contender for the most colourful on-water commentary, while after such a dramatic crash, the racing was almost sidelined to a footnote. Though South Australia's first prize belonged to Euroflex.
So puffy and tricky, lots of trim required and lots of foil adjustment, but everyone said we made it look easy, but it didn't feel easy on board.
A slice of history there for the Euroflex trio of Nathan Outeridge, Ian Jensen and Glenn Ashby, bagging the first ever race on offer in the circuit, ahead of Pavement's Steve Thomas and ID's Paul Campbell-James. A really impressive effort there from Pavement, the rainbow sails flying mightily here in South Australia. Tess, this is one tricky lineup.
We've got narrow boundaries on this course area here, so the boats are going to really maximise their foiling time right out to the left-hand side of the course near the container ships. So we're on board Euroflex here. You can see Glenn working hard on the main sheet, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. They've absolutely nailed this one. A really nice slingshot off the line, and they're just absolutely launched out to the left side of the fleet here, sailing their own air.
Okay, stand by tack.
They'll be loving this at the moment. ID looks like they've got a nice little cushion over pavement. And as Euroflex turns that first marker, well, ID will very much like their chances from here, Jimmy.
Yeah, look, they're doing really well here, the guys. They've got a really nice ley line into this top mark, and really being able to come around there with a lot of speed and on the foils is super, super crucial.
Tight turn there at the jibe mark. Not much room as to the boundary. So here they're trying to get foiling on the downwind. Looks like the wind might have lightened off a little bit, but we've still got 3 on trapeze. So that's a pretty good indicator, Jimmy, that they're sailing high and trying to power the boat up to get it lifted out of the water.
Yeah, such an awesome shot there. You know, you can see so many lines on the boat, and everyone's got to be in sync. No one can do the wrong thing at the wrong time, or the boat's just going to come crashing down off the foils. And you can see it's so tight here between Pavement and ID. You know, one mistake and the boat's just going to leap in front.
Pavement's made up some great ground there. They've closed the gap to just 5 seconds, and it seemed like that was really their leg just then, Pavement, as ID losing even more steam right now.
Below this one.
Jimmy, I can't believe how relaxed everything is on Euroflex. I've had more heated conversations, more stressful moments at a bar with my mates. These guys are so relaxed.
Yeah, for sure. These guys are putting on an absolute clinic at the moment, and there's no rules of how close they can get to these spectator boats, so they're getting really close in there and really maximising the boundary.
No doubt about it. The spectators sure are getting their money's worth, and why not? Looking at the calibre of races we have here, it's not just Euroflex, it's also boats like ID Intranet who are throwing down the challenge to everyone ahead of them.
Yeah, for sure. ID here just stuck like glue to the water. They can't get the boat moving.
Just stop right. Got him. Okay, stand by jibe. Go when you want.
Just seeing Euroflex creep into the picture there, so crucial to get clear instructions, and interesting to hear CJ yelling for it as well. Huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf there as Euroflex close in, outer edge going all out on outer harbour. They're now 2 from 2, Euroflex.
Nice, boys. Nice cover. Good job. We're going to get these guys here, boys.
Pretty positive on board, ID.
Well, if he gets them, I'll eat my hat from there. They're not even in the picture at the moment. Pavement can almost throw a tennis ball to the finish line. This will be one hell of a Hail Mary.
Yeah, this is so close. You can see the finish, the white boy and the committee boat here, and ID flying into the screen. They've got great pressure as they pick the final ley line into the mark. They're also inside boat coming into the finish here. Nick, this is close.
Doesn't come any closer than this, Tess. I may have jinxed myself. I better open my mouth and get my hat ready because ID are going to squeak ahead of Pavement.
Nice, boys. Good finish. Well done, Ed. Well done, Frank. That was really good. Really nice work, boys.
You can say that again, Paul Campbell, James. What a close finish that was. Just 2 seconds in it. Euroflex with the chockies ahead of ID and Pavement. Well, what a finish. And we're only 2 races in here. Spectacular stuff. And there's more coming up after this.
Flying through the spectator boats out there would just be loving it, getting so close to the action.
Well done, Ed. Well done, Frank. That was really good. Really nice work, boys.
A wonderful illustration of just how tricky and treacherous the Superfoiler can be, although you wouldn't know it if you were on board Euroflex. The boys on the Blue Bolter have just gone 3 from 3, their perfect record and perfect control intact. Again, it was ID Intranet's Paul Campbell-James, Fang Warren and Ed Powies who managed to snatch second position again ahead of the boys on board Pavement. It is a pretty consistent top 3 so far and pretty consistently chaotic further back. On board with Record Point and Phil Robertson not happy with the tiller there.
Right, boys, I'm just out of control here.
Just said he's out of control and he's not wrong there. They've planted it.
Wow, it's capsized over. It looks like he lost control of the rudder buttons there. They might have just swiveled around the rudder arm.
Sorry, boys.
At least they're in good spirits on board.
True story, eh? Guys, I'm out of control here.
Out of control, but we are taking New Zealand dollars for our swear jar. It's nice and full already, and so is Euroflex's points. They've just claimed another, again ahead of ID, with Pavement in third. These blue waters of South Australia are so far all about the blue boat of Euroflex. They've owned it, but ID's making a charge here, Tess.
About 6 seconds now to the start. ID, there we go, winning the boat end of the start here, flying off the line. What a great start from all 4 teams here.
More to go, Fang. Max. Copy.
You can hear the fever on board there with CJ, really keeping the boys nice and tight in a tough position.
Okay, stand by tack. Go, Ed.
Critical manoeuvre this one.
Go.
They need a fast tack here on that right-hand boundary. They've got rights and they're still ahead of Euroflex.
Beautiful camera angle, that one, as we see Ian Jensen take a look at what's ahead of him. This is a really thrilling duel unfolding, and let's not forget the battle between Clean Maid and Pavement as well. We might only have 4 machines, but they're all throwing it down at the moment. You could cover them with a blanket at the moment. This is fantastic racing. It's what we've been waiting for, and the boys are delivering.
Attacking these boys, it's nice. Max weight, please.
Just on cue, the Wizard of Wanji weaves his wand, and here they go again, the Euroflex boys. Oh, it's close.
Yeah, and you can see really good anticipation there from the guys on Euroflex. They've made it a little further up that initial boundary, and now they're in the gap between the ships. So really good strategical move there, and CJ's just been bounced early. So I think they're going to lose a little bit of distance there, and Euroflex could come back strong here. CJ's still got rights here, but it looks like Euroflex might cross in front. So difficult there. You can see the slightest mistake, and these Euroflex guys are going to take full advantage, make you pay the full price.
These boats need some runway to speed build and really get flying, and this narrow racetrack, I think the 4-point foiling is almost a more conservative option. It means you can cover more distance and you don't have to do as many manoeuvres and speed build. So close contest here, and we can see that 4-point foiling off Clean Maid, that cleaner lower angle is working for them here as they've got nice stable flight through the water.
Things can happen so quickly on these Superfoilers, even when they're travelling at 17 plus knots.
Yeah, the acceleration and deceleration is just huge on these boats. So little lull here, out of the tack. Whoa, Nick, we've lost, yep, someone's fallen out overboard in that tack there.
Well, that's a surefire way to lose some speed. And judging by the terrible stroke, I'd say it's Paul Campbell-James doggy paddling his way to safety. Are they going to slow down here? Surely they must.
Look, we can see there the universal joint, so the tiller extensions come away from the rudder arm, and Nick, I think we'll see our jet ski rescuers who are out on the water come quickly and pick him up there, but the boys have got that tiller extension back reattached.
Oh, Paul Campbell-James, nice dismount there, probably 4.5 for the splash landing. Certainly a little sloppy there. I wonder if it's going to be as sloppy trying to get on board ID, our second placed at the moment. Here comes the jet ski whizzing to get him back on there.
Yeah, it's really tough for the skipper. Everyone on the boat's got something solid to hold on to except for him. So when he leans on that tiller, if he leans too hard or becomes unbalanced, well, he's just turning the wheel of the boat and he's going to flick him straight off.
I think they're going on sailing without him here.
It doesn't look like they're too upset
as Fang takes the tiller and Ed Powys powers on.
See, they're not easy boats to slow down. Fang and Ed have both done a lot of 49er sailing here, which is the two-person Olympic skiff class. So you can see they're using their technique. CJ, quick transition back on board the boat. These guys will be able to continue racing. With the rules, the jet ski can pick anyone up when they fall in the water. They're allowed to hop back on the boat and continue racing.
We've seen everything so far this weekend, and we've seen a lot of this. Euroflex taking the spoils of yet another race. But the major talking point there, as the celebrations roll on, is the effort of ID, a man overboard, and somehow they managed to scramble their way back into second position. That is one tall tale and a heck of an effort. I wonder if Jack's got any clarity on what exactly went down on board ID just there.
Tell me the truth, did Fang kick you off the boat or did you just fall off?
Yeah, I was giving him a bit too much abuse, so I just got a little elbow and out the back. No, we just came out of tack and accelerated a bit faster than I was used to. And I was standing a bit far back and just kind of couldn't take a step backwards and tripped backwards over the tiller bar. And there I was having a little dip. But the boys did pretty well without me, you know. They actually got foiling probably better without me on board. So we might use that in the future, just me like plop off the back and leave them to it.
Did you see any fins while you're in the water?
Well, I was certainly worried about a few fins, I'm not going to lie. My first thought was get back on the boat. My second thought was they have great whites around here.
Well, to get away from great whites, you're going to have to do more than breaststroke, mate. Good luck tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow. Well done, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Paul Campbell-James drip drying there and getting a bit of a cooling down from Jack as well. There's more racing on the other side of this. Well, they've spied with their little eyes some awesome racing this weekend. The boys have been putting on a clinic out there, and Olivia Price has done too. And it's been quite the backdrop here in South Australia's Outer Harbour. Tess Parkinson, double points on offer for the supercharged Sunday session. Should make for some great racing.
Yeah, these teams are all getting ready for the first race of today. The breeze is right down the middle of the course, so it could open up some more opportunities. And here we go, we can see record points setting up for a port tack approach, which we haven't seen yet, heading out to the right-hand side of the course. And these boats are away off the line.
Yeah, really interesting to see Phil developing this split early on in the race. This is going to get him out of sync with the other boats, and that's going to give him a little bit clearer air for this whole entire beat.
Hey! Not going after him. Mate!
Amazing footage there, and Phil just buzzing the tower as he goes past up to the boundary there.
Is Phil having a laugh there? Oh my goodness, he was close.
You can see how hard they want to push those boundary lines, getting in between the spectator boats.
Yeah. Bit of pace there. Okay, stand by tack.
Once again, Euroflex just winning this first little battle in the first 30 seconds of the race is so important. You can't make any mistakes or the fleet will just sail straight on by. So they're just keeping it clean here and got the foot down.
Starboard four.
Something's going on here on ID. They've come to a stop.
Just got to go backwards.
Fang's in the water, and it looks like there's some seaweed there, a bit of sushi wrapped around the rudder.
Let go.
That's absolutely unbelievable stuff there from Team ID. I can't believe that.
That's crazy. Not easy to get a big clump of seaweed like that off those sharp foils. Very controlled there, sailing backwards.
Yeah, Fang's just gone full action man there. Doesn't care what CJ says. He's in the water. He's going to get it off.
Having a bit of fun on board here. I think Glenn wants to take the helm out of the jibe here, but cool to see the guys enjoying sailing these boats.
Glenn having a cack. That's how much fun it is out there. They're absolutely crushing it and just loving every moment. And why wouldn't they? If the scoreboard is anything to go by, race 5 is also in their back pocket, with Pavement taking out second position there. Steve Thomas finally rolling ID but it was clean made. Olivia Price getting the job done here in South Australia. Clean made's best finish, 3rd place on the podium already. For race 6, it was business as usual for Euroflex, with ID and Pavement again rounding out 2 and 3. Clean made continually in the points here though, which is super important given it is our Sunday session. This is the 2 to keep your eye on though. It's ID and it's Euroflex. Tess, it feels like the 2 heavyweights are going toe to toe.
They're really improving, these guys on ID. They're sailing nicely on the upwind. They had a long start and managed to sail a long way into that boundary before tacking back. So they're doing well, minimising their manoeuvres, and it looks like they've found a good high mode now.
Yeah, and they're a little out of sync here with Euroflex. That's going to work to their advantage.
Very close crossing. It gets tricky close to the boundary line because there's not much pressure. ID on starboard.
That's as close as we've seen anyone come, and there's not much runway there left at all. They're really taking it to the boundaries. If nothing else, the Brit is rattling the sabre big time.
So they're on starboard out of this tack. They've got right of way, but ID coming in with pressure. See if ID goes underneath them or follows through to the spectator boats. Getting close now on our final approach into the top gate for the first time. We're on leg 1 of 4 for the last race, double points counting.
Yeah, and Euroflex falling out of pressure there. ID now 25 metres ahead.
ID's forgotten about Pavement. They just want to give Euroflex some headaches. And how about that? We're looking at the very view Nathan Outeridge would have right now.
Big weight out here. They're on a speed mode to the top mark gate.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome covering position they've got over Euroflex there. They're in front. They're in between the top mark and their opponent.
It's a really crucial top mark around here. They need to hit it with full speed on the foils and get down the track.
As soon as they've got that boat away, they need to start going for depth. Go down to the bottom mark and not cover too much distance out here to the boundary.
1, go.
Absolutely, and Euroflex is going to look to try and drive inside here. Fang Warren just losing his footing there in that jibe.
Well, this is foreign territory for IG. They're leading, and they've got our series champion in their wake at the moment, so you can imagine they're a little nervous.
Yeah, above them.
Got a big soak.
Yeah, copy that.
Oh, how about this for a dogfight? The 2 eyeballing each other's at almost every manoeuvre.
They're on the ley line here to the bottom right gate. We can see as they go from the downwind leg to the upwind, pulling the sails on, lifting the windward foil. They're back up on the breeze and they'll head back up to the top of the course.
In such an awesome shot here, just flying upwind with Euroflex. Once again, they've got the boat ripping. It's up on the foils, and now Nathan Outeridge just moving body weight in, helping with that higher mode, and they've really got the foot down now. This is incredible to see.
It's like watching Aladdin on a magic carpet at the moment. But Paul Campbell-James is rubbing that ID, trying to get the genie out of the bottle there, and he's not doing a bad job of that.
Look at that, 3 on the wire for the bearaway. Windward foil up, going max speed here, over 30 knots as they rip downwind.
Copy. Max sheet. Question. Go for it.
Skipper needs to know where the main trim's at in terms of percentage so they know if they can pull on for more power.
What about this boat that's just popping into shot here? Oh, don't tell me the Coast Guard hasn't slowed down and put up a speed bump for Paul Campbell-James in this great drag race.
A bit more sheet on. 2, 1, here we go, nice glide.
He's taken that very well, CJ, very cool and collected there, just showing his professionalism on the boat.
2, 1, here we go.
This could be their final manoeuvre into the finish here.
Nice, boys.
And there you see the finish line. They've just crossed through it now.
They bagged it, a clean sweep, untouchable this weekend in Adelaide. Superb from the Euroflex Superfoiler.
Oh, man overboard.
Who's this? And we can see some limping or gesturing towards a leg or a knee there. One of the record point boys is in the water and he looks like he's in agony.
I think it's Tom Clout there.
Main sheet trimmer, Tom Clout. He's just come off the Volvo Ocean Race. Looks like he may have hurt his leg a little bit in the water. The jet skis are quick to the rescue though. They're going to get him back on board, check any injury.
Having a look at exactly how that unfolded at the moment. And you can see the reaction immediately from the Scotsman and also from the Kiwi looking back and trying to track down where they've lost a man overboard.
Looks like just as Phil started the turn there, he wasn't able to get on board the boat and the G-forces can just suck you straight off.
Back into our final leg of the last race, the double points race. Pavement now finishing in third, really close to the finish line here as Steve Thomas. There we go, through the line, the white mark, the committee boat, marking that finish.
Taz, the biggest marker this whole weekend has been laid down by Euroflex. They sweep race 7 ahead of what's fast becoming their closest rival, ID Internet. Paul Campbell-James throwing down the challenge, just 38 seconds behind, with Pavement and Cleanmate both scrambling into the points in the final race in Adelaide. This is how it chalks up in the race for the Ben Lexon Trophy. Euroflex with the perfect start. ID, Pavement, Cleanmate, and Record Point also in touching distance, and Tech 2, well, not too bad for them considering they only managed one race. After the break, the hostilities kick off again. We'll be in Geelong, racing fast and furious.
What a great shot that is, ID. They're coming in.
Nice long leg all this way here.
That one was close. It is going to be a nail biter.
Geelong in Victoria. It's the state many consider to be the sporting capital of Australia, and it's also the home regatta for Glen Ashby, one of the stars on the series front-running Superfoiler. The first event established Euroflex as the pinnacle performer. America's Cup winner Glen Ashby sailing alongside Nathan Outridge and Ian Jensen, clearly the team to catch. But fellow America's Cup sailors and British Bulldogs Paul Campbell-James and Ed Powies were nipping at their heels. The question was, could they catch them in Geelong? A remarkable sight to see Tech 2 back on the water, but it was Phil Robertson licking his lips in the opening race.
Fast out here, good one.
Euroflex again dropped the hammer, while Tech 2's skipper slipped up.
Tack.
Yep, I'm with
you. Luke Parkinson was barely dry when Record Point found a vein of gold. They were left to chase the tail of the never-fail Euroflex. Race 2, and this time it was ID Intranet. After victory in the Victorian opener, Euroflex searched for spectacular in the next, threading the needle en route to another win and starting to look unstoppable. The Dream Team on cloud 9. The third of the day, and Record Point again found themselves at the pointy end.
Hey! He's not laying. No.
The Dark Horse galloping towards a breakthrough victory.
Go.
Until Euroflex robbed the Kiwi skipper of glory, this time with the line in spitting distance.
Yeah, boys! We got him! That's the schnitzel.
Rather than cry, Record Point decided laughter was the best medicine.
Should have gone turbo out of the top, eh?
Painful. Oh, that would have been a good one to get up. Oh, well, I think we're sailing well.
Sort of feel almost a bit sorry for him there to pip him on the line right at the end, but we're like, nah, we can't give it away that easy. So we, we actually pulled off a really nice jibe and managed to just sneak through by a boat length at the end. So super exciting and definitely got the old heart rate above 50 beats per minute, that's for sure.
All good, lads. Nice race, mate. Yeah, it's all good day, boy.
Yeah, it was actually pretty painful, to be honest. I just didn't quite have enough heat in the oven at the end of that race. Painful finish to be drifting so close to a win, but now we're coming for him and I think the blue boat will go down soon.
They are alive and cooking, Record Point, but no one can edge past Euroflex. They've got 3 on the hop here in Geelong, with ID again a solid performer in 3rd after the opening day of racing. Tech 2 back on the water and back in the thick of the action when race 4 got underway.
Hey, let's go! No overlap! Up! Hey! Hey! Go fast, lean hard.
Okay, we're going to do a 2 tack after the gun.
Got a penalty?
The penalty coming in clear there for Euroflex. They had to perform 2 tacks, and that's left the door ajar. A sniff of hope for Pavement and Co.
Bring on the chase, boys.
A lot of congestion into the top mark here.
We're going to be in the zone here. We've got to tack underneath Pavement, okay? Stand by. Hey!
Record Point think they've got inside around this first top gate.
Hey! I was in the zone there!
Phil Robertson in the zone, just ask him.
Stop it!
Euroflex flying in with speed.
Whoa, protest! Got to go right mark now. Board's good.
Got the board.
I'll get the main. My main. Protest!
Copy that. Wait forward.
Plenty of tension on board right now. Euroflex have just come from last, and all of a sudden they're throwing their weight around at the front.
They had great pressure coming into the top gate here, and with this congestion, Record Point thought they had inside room around the top gate, but didn't. So have tacked, and now they're rounding the right mark. So we've got an equal split in the fleet. These 3 boats are rounding the right top gate here, and the other 3 have rounded the left.
1 on us now.
Euroflex flying, so they're connecting the puffs to really gain on this leg.
The Euroflex went from dead last to first in 1 beat. They've carried the pressure all the way into the top mark, got around cleanly and foiled into their jibe that they've just got through. So here they come. Oh no, they just ran out of pressure, just as I said that, and the Pavement takes the lead going absolutely flat stick.
Oh, mama! Pavement are here and they're sending it down the course at the moment. This is good to watch.
Keep sailing this mode. 2, 1, just there. Big shoulder stand.
Pavement in the lead now, doing everything right. They can't put a foot wrong.
Try priority. Nice.
And this is beautiful to watch, and clean, mate. They can't do anything wrong either. Oh, but Jimmy, they've just rounded and touched down there.
Yeah, so around these bottom marks, there's about 10 or 15 things you have to do all at once perfectly, and what you see Euroflex doing there is that.
On board here, she's rounded up through the max power zone, just put too much lift in the rudder foil, and the bow flies up, crashes down onto the water. The crew have done a great job to stay on board.
Pavement really need to try and lay around the top mark. At the moment they're struggling, which will cost them.
Not laying the top mark means they're going to have to do an extra tack here while Euroflex is sending it in.
Medium pressure.
4 point.
Copy.
This is going to feel like an eternity test. They've just fluffed one, and Euroflex and CleanMate are going to pounce ASAP, and Steve Thomas will be furious.
Thinking about 4 boards, guys. What do you reckon?
Got Nate there somewhere? Yeah.
Where do you see the best pressure?
still all about the pressure here.
Jibe show, I reckon.
Talk on board Euroflex about whether they're going to have all 4 boards down and sail low towards the mark, or whether they're going to have 3. So they're opting for the windward board to go down at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, turning now.
Rolling straight into a jibe here.
And we've seen how quickly that margin has compressed from 3 football fields to just a couple of metres. The race is back on.
Go board. Pavement just getting out first and getting into the new pressure first. So you should see that lead go back out to sort of where it was, about 20 seconds. Euroflex not far behind them, and the clean mate doing a great job again. Go, Olivia.
Okay, we're tacking then. Go forward.
Copy.
The capsize?
Yep.
Oh, that could prove costly for Pavement as Euroflex comes screaming back in contention. We thought she was out, she was in last, and now she's back in the party.
Oh, this is going to be a close crossing, Nick. Oh, Euroflex jibes on top of them on their line there. Close racing. They haven't infringed. They've got away
what
with
about
it.
record point as well? It's all turning to water out here in Geelong.
Love a line on here.
And Phil Robertson's again in the bad books.
Yeah, Nick, the more pressure, the more they build their apparent wind and the lower they can sail. So picking this final angle approach into the bottom gates is very difficult here. Both doing a lot of manoeuvres, which is going to slow them down and bring them really close together. But Pavement maintaining the lead. They're both rounding the left gate here as they start to turn the boat up through that max power zone onto the final upwind of the race.
Okay, and driving. Smoke the jib. Yep.
Pavement jibe setting here immediately around the mark. They've
Okay,
shown they're going to battle this out all the way to the end here.
And they're going to battle from the front because they've just scooped in and caught Euroflex napping. That lead has now changed hands. An 18-second deficit is now a handy lead.
3. Gust on. Need weight. Need weight. Need brakes, Steve.
Euroflex has rolled over the top of Pavement to take the lead.
Come on, boys. You were saying weight. Yeah, I was saying both.
Confusion on board.
Right.
Not sure whether they're needing more weight up on the side of the boat or more lift in the rudder foils.
They're 3, guys. We're 4. We're struggling. Pressure in front. Yes.
Is this the race slipping away from Pavement? Euroflex are flying on their way to the finish line. This has got to hurt.
Okay, anytime.
They've scrambled from last. They're in first, closing in on another victory here, Euroflex. Probably the hardest fought for them. Who would have thought from last place they could come back and be closing in on the line? Glenn Ashby in front of his family and friends, flying high in the Geelong sky.
Okay.
You beauty.
Cycling through.
The finish boat there with the orange flag. They're about to cross the line.
Oh, you had to work for that one, boys. Yeah. Well done. Well done, Goobs.
The Euroflex Dream Team have a saying, if you're not first, you're last. And well, they've just come from last to take out first position in race 4 in Geelong. Ahead of Pavement, Steve Thomas will be feeling like that's the one that got away. I hope, like any fisherman, he's got a photo of it, at least to show that he almost hooked the big one. More fishing of the fastest variety on earth up next. Well, as a city, none set up better than Geelong to watch sailboat racing. The shoreline lapping the CBD here, and our 6 superfoilers are lapping it up. Steve Thomas on Pavement is looking to split. That could be a risky manoeuvre.
ID and Clean Made first lane starts there, smoking it. They've got to get the boats foiling, get that hull lifted out of the water.
This is a position to be savoured for Olivia Price. Clean Mate enjoying some clean air at the front of the race at the moment, ripping along, and she's got a nice handy lead over ID. She's also going to be celebrating some stretching room over Euroflex as well. And we can see at this moment ID's just squeezed past Clean Mate in better pressure. That one's going to sting for Olivia Price.
Nothing, no wind. We really needed to keep going.
Pavement have made a massive gain out of the right shift here. They risked early, they tacked off the start, and they've come back with a good lead. They're on a lifting angle here, coming into the top gate for the first time.
Step after, get her up here.
Yeah, go 4 points.
She's got the lead at the moment. Dogfight we had in the first race, it's reignited again. These two going at each other, and Pavement wanting to go one better than she managed in the opening encounter. And so far, Steve Thomas is doing exactly what he needs to, throwing the pressure to Euroflex.
Yeah, I think the racetrack's changing so quickly. So you saw Pavement make the early gain out in the right, and then they go, that wind's not there anymore. So now it's in the left, and they're just going to keep making every decision on what they see. They're going to sail what they see. And interesting here, Nathan Outridge, once again, only on those 3 foils, he's got that board up. You can see how much faster he's going, but the difference is Pavement, they've got all 4 down and they're lower. So just because you're going faster doesn't mean that's the better option. It's all about getting down the track, and I think Steve Thomas right now has much better angle down the track, and that lower speed is possibly going to pay off.
And it looks like Tech 2 in very big pressure and are overlaid on the start-finish mark. This is going to be pretty epic stuff coming into the gate. Absolutely motoring here. They're doing about 33, 34 knots. Just cooking there. They look like the F1 fighter jet.
Take 3. Yeah, 1 out only. Here we go.
Turning around the bottom mark for the first time in this race.
Huff will get us in a second.
Not too worried about that touchdown. There's more pressure coming.
Stand by 4 boards.
But they'll soon be worried about these guys. Tech 2 are roaring into it from the heavens. They've got a nice speed build, and they're scything through the fleet at the moment. She's up into 3rd, and she's coming in hot.
But he's fully caught up to Euroflex. He's pulled about 400 or 500 metres on a single downwind. And there you go.
Close here.
Just like Motorsport, on the inside, you have rights away. He's going to whip it inside and exit that mark in front of Euroflex. Amazing stuff by Luke Parkinson.
This is gutsy stuff from Parko and Tech 2.
Trap when you can. I can help with the main sheet.
Oh, but there's an incident with ID, and it's Ed Powys going for a swim there off the bow. He's improved his stroke to the doggy paddle we saw from Paul Campbell-James last week. Good to know the Brits are making some leaps and bounds in the swimming department there, but it's a bad from worse scenario for ID Intranet. It's been a weekend to forget for Paul Campbell-James.
Keep working on that chip, please.
The main sheets come off here. They've lost all power in the boat, and the all crew have just fallen in the water. Pretty funny, Nick.
Well, some massive drama on ID there. They've got some serious damage there.
ID chase, we need rib alongside. We have no port tip on our board.
Oh no, Jack, their Cactus, ID gone.
Yeah, they've had a major failure on the port dagger board, so what we call the tip of the board has snapped off completely. It's dragging in the water, but that's the end of their day, unfortunately.
Get ready to close in on the finishes. The 2 front runners are almost about to converge here, Tess. This one is going to go right down to the very wire.
Pretty interestingly here, we could have a split. Yes, we will have a split at the top mark. Pavement's rounded the right mark. Euroflex going for the left. So whichever way that pressure comes in for is who's going to be leading coming down the bottom run. Euroflex have got awesome pace out here. They're absolutely flying.
Happy anytime. Yep.
There's a lot to like. Of course they're happy with that. Class.
Nice scoops.
And the congratulations are already being doled out on a beautiful foiling jibe, Tess.
Oh, that jibe was just so smooth. 4-point foiling through the turn.
My buttons. Good, Puffy. 3. Around their bow. Yep.
That's why they call them the dream team. Look at the ride height. They're perfectly soaring.
Really good.
Yeah, so Pavement split at the top mark there. They went looking for that Main Street puff that Nathan picked up last time, and you can see Steve Thomas so frustrated right now. His heart will be in his throat. He knows that Nathan Outridge on Euroflex is absolutely sending it, probably going much faster. He's having to do a few manoeuvres here, and Nate's just going to go 1 and into the middle gate.
Jimmy, you can hear it in that high frequency hiss, a piercing sound on Euroflex, and deathly silence by contrast on Pavement.
They're shorting the course.
And that's the moment they realise they've just cruelled Pavement again. Euroflex, the winner of our second on the program, and Steve Thomas misses out again. Well, Euroflex getting all too used to tasting the spoils here at Glen Ashby's home regatta, again edging past Pavement. Will that continue, or will Pavement and Steve Thomas, Reece Mara and Dan Morris manage to bounce back here in Geelong? We'll find out after this.
Hammer!
Geelong's a sporting city, a city for sailors, a city for fans of the AFL. Aussie rules there, home to the Geelong Cats. And of course this weekend, home to the SuperFoiler. But for a Kiwi sailor, not home to a good breeze selection. We saw Phil Robertson go the absolutely wrong way there, and that was punished to the full extent by the remaining 5 SuperFoilers. Euroflex did what they do best, and that's lead from the front. They put some serious distance into the chasing pack. Not that Pavement was going slowly, they were absolutely ramping it up there. Steve Thomas had the rainbow sails dialed in and flying, giving the Euroflex an almighty scare there for a while. But ultimately it wasn't enough, as the boys from Tech 2 decided to ratchet things up. They were coming in fast, and well, I don't think Pavement saw them coming. And Pavement and Tech 2 buzzing each other.
Close cross there.
It was some great racing. That was enough for Tech 2 to move up into second behind Euroflex. Further back, there were problems, massive ones, for a boat called Clean Made.
Here we go, Clean Made here.
Oh, and that's a wet one, and Josh McKnight holding on for dear life, but someone...
You alive?
You right, fella?
It's Harry. Harry Morton's fallen off there, and he's freestyling furiously to get back on board. Everyone's wild about Harry, and everyone was wild about Euroflex. Another win for Glen Ashby at his home regatta. Boys starting to make it look like clockwork. Almost 400, 500 metres as Euroflex pointed the bow towards the heavens and left people asking, are these guys from the heavens? They are out of this world. 6 races in and more of the same for Euroflex. 6 in a row, a half dozen for Nathan Outeridge and co, with Tech 2 showing a remarkable comeback from the trials and tribulations of Adelaide. Would they be able to do it in the next race too? Looks like everyone's away clean. Oh, except for Tech 2, they're soaking.
Awesome start by Pavement. Really launched out of the blocks there. They got the boat foiling and moving. Really extended in the midpoint of the line. They've won that start for sure. That's a great effort to get off the line there.
Yeah, Tech 2 just set up a little far above the boat end lay line and did a bear away and fell in the water, lost a bit of speed, but they'll have clean air off the line. But this start's all about Pavement.
And the pressure's on board Pavement and Tech 2 as well. Things are simmering away nicely there, ready to get to boiling point, Tess. It's hot out there already. Double points doing crazy things.
Yeah, Tech 2 have picked the first shift off the start and made the most of that right pressure, being able to come back and cross in front of the fleet.
Yeah, dust on the inside now.
And once again, we see Euroflex and Pavement locked in this speed race, locked in this drag race. Pavement will try to be work a high mode as Nathan just wobbles off the foils there, but cannot give an inch right now.
Dust on one now.
Yeah, look, Pavement just putting the squeeze on. Nathan just making another little mistake there, and Pavement's just straight through. Sailed straight around to leeward. Now just trying to climb that height, pull up in front of them, and if they want to attack here, they have all the rights in the world. So it looks like they're going to go straight for that right-hand turn, and here we go, big top mark rounding.
Standing by. 2, 1, go forward.
Coming up.
Here we go.
Oh, and that one was close as well.
It'll come to you in a second when we park.
Euroflex driving, Tech 2 flying in.
Driving, got the mark.
Tess, it is tight in there right now.
Copy.
Dig up, dig up, dig up.
I've got him. I've got him. I've got him.
Whoa, it's like a game of musical chairs. The music stopped and there's about 1 chair and 5 superfoilers looking for a seat right now. Hectic stuff.
Feels like too much, mate. Too much what? Too much rain, eh?
And that is lit. It's igniting right now.
The more runway these boats have, the more speed they can build up. Opting 1 crew on the wire.
Can you see the mark? Copy. Copy. Further here. Waves.
So here they have the option to sail fast if they want and get another man on trapeze, but they're opting to try and get down the course, get away from the land and sail a little slower, a little lower.
Set up. 2, 1, go board.
That high frequency hissing, it's a sound for sore ears, and this is a sight for sore eyes as they touch down on Corio Bay. That'll wipe some serious time off the Tech 2 challenge.
Not far away from the bottom gate now, they're on the 2nd downwind. And Pavement just flying a little high there. They need to get the boat on top of them, get that windward heel going.
You see Pavement here just getting a bit out of sorts, not enough lift on that leeward foil. They might have crashed off the foils, but Tech 2's taken full advantage of that, put 200 metres on them in the blink of an eye, and you see Euroflex further down the track there, still sending it hard on 3 foils.
Let's hope there's no damage there. Pavement's currently in 3rd, but record points closing in on them at a rate of knots.
Heel it to windward, a bit for free.
These guys on Tech 2 are really making those foiling jibes stick as we see Euroflex basically dropping a knee. Casey Stoner as they raise that corner, and well, Glenn Ashby almost slipped off like a MotoGP rider too.
And this is a great view here of Pavement and Record Point and Clean Made coming through this middle gate on the downwind.
Mark through here, bottom mark. Copy. 2, 1, go board.
A crucial moment in this race, Tess. It all hinges on what happens around this mark. Who's going to get the best of it? Luke Parkinson has been given a sniff earlier today. He's going to want to seize it this time around. It was the one that got away. This is the one he wants to reel in and hang on his wall in the pool room.
Wait in, Sam. Sam in.
Tech 2 may dive on the inside.
Can't see, Sam. Wait in hard. Big wait in, Aiden. Yep. 4 boards. You're out, Aiden.
How about that for increasing the pressure, though? Tech 2 and Euroflex just buzzed past each other, gave each other a quick look, and basically said it's on to the finish line. We'll see you there. Who's going to get there first? And will Pavement hold out Record Point in the battle for 3rd?
We're looking for best pressure on exit.
Stand by, drive. 3, 2, 1, driving.
Very close to the bottom marks here. Euroflex has got such high speeds though. They're really on a runner here. Looks like they're jibing on late for the left gate coming into the bottom.
Blink of an eye, Nathan Adelaide just pulled 140 metres just like that.
Magical work on the tiller there, Jimmy. That's why they call Nathan the Wizard of Wanji, an Olympic gold medalist and a master craftsman on the stick. Well, Jimmy, you didn't want to write them off, but the boys on Euroflex are ready to say sayonara. They've booked another race win. It's an incredible effort from them. As soon as they look challenged, they always answer the call, Tess.
Amazingly, Nick, we've seen Euroflex often, they're not leading at that final top mark and they just manage to get in there and just link the shifts together on the downwind and lead at the bottom. All credit to them. They really turn it on when it's needed.
They've turned it up to max power at the moment, Tess Parkinson. 7 races in, more Euroflex at the top. And again, Tech 2 back-to-back on 2nd position there, closing in just 39 seconds adrift. We've got some gorgeous racing coming your way and some wet stuff too. More of the same up next. last race of the day here in Geelong, and indeed for the entire regatta, Tech 2 and Pavement in an arm wrestle for second place at the moment. It could go either way. This start is super important. And they're all the way cleanly there. Euroflex timing her run. Pavement nicely positioned ahead of Record Point here too. Double points on the line as we see Tech 2 nosing ahead. This is another great battle between Euroflex and Tech 2, Tess.
Yeah, there must be a lot of pressure out on the right. Very bunched at the boat end off the start.
It's a nice little chess match unfolding here. Tech 2 with the early moves there. They've got nearly 50 metres on Euroflex with Pavement in third position.
Right turn, early jibe, going up to watch.
Preparing to round the top gate. Both Tech 2 and Euroflex are calling. They're going to bear away around the right mark at the top here. Nice increase in pressure.
Pressure all the way down here. Yep, I got it too. Here we go. Pressure all the way down here, copy.
Great speed on board these guys. They're rocketing along at the moment. Pavement turns in third.
Stand by jibe. 2, 1, jibing.
Clear comms coming off Tech 2. Luke Parkinson calling all the manoeuvres through. Excellent foil time here. Look, that is a great shot to see how close they are.
Coming up here now.
Both machines sending at the moment. 20 plus knots and climbing, doing it easy.
You've got to be so accurate in these boats. You can't let them fly away from you. You've got to keep the weight of the rig on your shoulders to keep it going.
You've got to come and get it.
Oh, and occasionally you can even do a bit of risky business. Tom Cruise style there from Ian Jensen.
Yeah, we just got to punch through it a little bit.
And Euroflex, they've had to stay on a low angle to get through the middle gate. But now they've got free range. They're going to head up and really try and roll over them. Close in with the VIPs here on board, and Glenn Ashby on main sheet, Nick, giving them a wave here. He's certainly enjoying this ride.
Standing by. Okay, here we go.
Around the bottom mark here. Heaps of pressure on as they turn up through that max power zone. And Tech 2 coming in with a lot of pace as well.
But so far, so good for these boys. No real pressure. They won't be sweating through the wetsuit. They'll be enjoying the lead they now have.
Okay, here we go.
You want to have a good run in like that to the top mark so you can foil for the bear away and just build speed and slingshot around.
Here we go.
And they'll be loving this sight, savouring every moment of it. They're steaming their way to the line like the Euroflex mop is. And this is all good from Glenn. It's a clean sweep. Glenn glittering on home waters. It's a Geelong masterclass from them. 3 of the world's best, 24 world championships between them. And this is another moment to savour. They can now add a trophy from Adelaide to 1 in Geelong. Glenn Ashby, one of the happiest campers in all of Victoria. Euroflex take out race 8. They make it 8 from 8 in Glenn Ashby's home regatta. Tech 2 finishing ahead of Pavement, but it's not quite enough to dislodge Pavement from second position. Look at that, just 1 point separating second and third there. Record Point with another impressive showing, and it helps in the overall race to the Ben Lexon Trophy. Euroflex unblemished, 2 from 2. Pavement again with another good performance there. They're in second and 3 points ahead of Tech 2. An amazing effort considering Tech 2 weren't even really in the racing in South Australia. Will Euroflex continue their dominance on the Golden Coast of Queensland? We'll find out soon enough.
we're up in Brisbane, the Gold Coast. It's smoking hot, you know.
This heat is just killing us all. Feels like I've just come out of a swimming pool. It's that humid.
It's just another day, so build day, and yeah, we've got to put in a lot of work.
Round 3 of the Grand Prix, so bring it on.
These elite athletes, they're pretty precious. Apparently it's hot out there. Well, the racing will be blazing on the Broadwater. Day 1 in the 3rd leg of the SuperFoiler Grand Prix circuit, and there was no treasure at the end of Pavement's Gold Coast Rainbow.
Get on the radar, tell me hit the bottom.
Steve Thomas and the boys dashed in the race opener, the damaged board denying them more.
Team Pavement, we are sails down and ashore. We're just going to try and get off the racetrack.
No such problems for Euroflex, Nathan Outeridge, Ian Jensen and Glenn Ashby chalking up their sweet 16th of the series.
Then we're finished. So you want to stop or keep going?
But it was Cleanmade cleaning up on the Broadwater. Olivia Price, Josh McKnight and Harry Morton with 2nd place, their top gong of the series.
Yeah, all right, that was thing, right?
Race 2 and Tech 2 nibbled off more than they could chew. Penalised at the start and still kicking themselves after racing.
Yeah, today we couldn't start a lawnmower. We're last off every start, I think.
In contrast, Record Point did launch well in the 2nd.
Straight into tack, go forward. Happy for board. Go, ready, big trips. Go, boys, go.
The fastest race yet, 30 knots with change, before a clumsy moment left the dark horse in the shade of the Blue Monster.
Board, lower board, lower board. Oh, no good.
That sort of let us by, and I'm sure that's 2 that, you know, we've won through other people's mistakes, and, you know, they'll just get better and better and we won't get those ones.
In the final fling, Euroflex again mopped up at the front as Phil Robertson roared in front of his family and friends.
Here we go.
Who had journeyed from Sweden and New Zealand. Plenty for them to cheer about.
Yeah, we felt good. Felt like the boat was getting in a different mode, and had a few little technical problems on board, but it was actually working in our favour.
Record Point en route to another 2nd place. So the Kiwi becoming the king of the Friday session. Record Point in 2nd after 3 races ahead of the stalwart leader Euroflex, with Tech 2 making up 3rd, racing on Saturday, a salivating prospect.
Go, boys.
We are moments away from racing in our opening skirmish here on the Gold Coast for Saturday. Seconds away.
Your boys. Oh, we're racing. What? Okay. Full trap lock.
Pavement here hasn't realised that the start's away.
I can't get a radio most of the time.
And Reece Mara there saying it was a communications issue. It didn't quite catch the radio, and this is going to be costly for Pavement as they scramble away. ID, Tech 2 and Record Point with the best of the start, and Pavement very much with the worst of it. They're on another planet right now, and they're going to have to scramble desperately. All swinging late, and they picked up a marker.
Got it.
Oh, from bad to worse.
Rushing to get back, bit of fever on board, and all they had to do was a U-turn around that buoy. And you know those rudders, they come down off the boat, the big T rudder on the bottom there, and it's so easy to catch a mark.
Steve Thomas and the lads, they've had a shocker here in the Gold Coast, and this is going to really sting. And chaos behind and racing out front, Tessa.
Yeah, ID have had a good start as well. They were the leeward boat. They're going out to the right-hand side of the course, and on board here, Team Euroflex on starboard heading out to the left. So we've got to split up the racetrack. ID most right, Tech 2 in the middle of the course, and Euroflex heading out the left.
It looks like a close one between Phil Robertson and Record Point and Tech 2 here. This could be nasty if they get it wrong.
Record Point on starboard.
Oh, that was close, missing by a whisker.
Tech 2 just made in front, but Tech 2 here tacking so close to ID.
No room! Protest!
Well, protest is one thing, but that is another calamity on our opening race here on Saturday. The finger of blame being pointed. That could be race over for them.
Oh, for good reason, Nick. You know, that's just Tech 2 have tacked right in front of ID here, leaving ID with nowhere to go but run up and into that mark and get hooked there. And the issue is Tech 2 get a penalty from the umpires, but that's almost race over for ID, so pretty disappointing there.
Nerves of steel from Paul Campbell-James here. And look at this, they actually do touch there, I believe. That is a really close call. Lucky no one was hurt. But Paul Campbell-James, that'll mean nothing to him. He'll want a showdown in the boat park with Luke Parkinson after that. You can bet on it. It's absolutely all happening. Crazy scenes.
Nick, there's plenty of current, and the current's the cause of a lot of the action, and there's a lot of current running down here, so it's very, very tricky conditions.
Certainly hard as... Oh, Ian Jensen's gone over. He's in a precarious position. Let go, son. Oh, I think he's clear. Oh, my word, that was a close one. That was nasty, that was high speed, and that was dangerous stuff.
Yeah, Nick, he did so well to hold on there for so long. He didn't want to let go at all, but such a scary angle to watch this from. He did so, yeah, missed the foils completely. A bit of concern from Glenn and Nathan. That's not what you want, having a crew member falling over at such high speed there. Far out, so close to the water there, and he lets go.
And just a relief that Ian Jensen is okay. He got back on, and astoundingly, somehow, Euroflex is still our race leader. They can lose a man overboard, recover him, and then put more meters on everyone else. But Record Point chasing hard in second.
Yeah. Too much, mate, I think, eh? Oh, no, that's me. Sorry, boy.
We've got some breaking news on the wild stuff happening out there, Jack.
The race has been officially abandoned. Essentially, conditions down at the southern end of the course, the top mark, if you like, is just too treacherous. So I'm going down to speak to the water police now, just to see what they've got in store and maybe a slight adjustment of the course.
An adjustment of the course perhaps, but no adjustment to normal proceedings. Euroflex on top, this time ahead of Record Point and Cleanmade with Tech 2 ready to lurk. They're in fourth there. They'll be looking for more. And we've got plenty more coming up on the Gold Coast. More racing up next. Welcome back to the Gold Coast, where so far we've seen non-stop action.
Set my own salary, living a dream, the alternate reality. Cash rules, that's my everyday mentality. Guess that's why all these haters are mad at me. Oh, no, you digging the flow. Music's chilling while I'm spilling these spillers, it's cars.
Race number 5 coming up. There will be more fireworks, more bling.
6 seconds to go to the start.
Need to bear away hard here.
Big split on the line. You can see 3 boats away on port. ID opting to start on starboard. We've got a split approach here and Pavement. They're struggling to bear away behind the race committee boat.
Keep tacking, guys, keep tacking. Cut the jib, ease the jib off.
Oh, a bit of frustration as they try and get away from the race committee boat, but up the course here. Great speed. Tech 2's got away on that leeward position. It's going to be interesting to see when they converge. ID going way out the left.
Speed build.
Hard here.
Pavement managed to keep going, but look at this. This is the best view in the house for this one. Of Reese going over and Dan Morris trying not to walk the plank there, but no one was in control of Pavement.
Euroflex, they're bearing away around that top mark there with lots of pace on. They've had a great upwind. You can see they're 4-point foiling. They're rolling into a jibe there. Little touchdown, and it looks like they're transitioning to 3-point foiling with Goops pulling up that windward board.
How about this for a subplot though, Tess? It's ID, they're back in the racing and they want to give a little bit of a shake to Tech 2, the boat that knocked them out.
Here we go, gents.
Oh, this is going to be a thrilling little duel here. Plenty on the line, plenty of bragging rights, and a little bit of a gesture as well, no doubt.
CJ, could be an issue.
Water! 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 2, 1, driving.
Yeah, my turn.
And another close call. These two are really rattling each other's cage at the moment.
Yeah, happy max rate.
Here we go, diving.
Gill calling, he needs the main more in the centre line to have more power into this jibe.
Probably not crossing,
It's critical, they need to cross ahead of Tech 2.
Right, we're up! No, it's fine, it's fine. Power on! Trevor up, boys. Guys, you've got to stay on top of your trim, Sam.
That's about as feisty as Phil Robertson gets. It's pretty tense out there.
Euroflex round the bottom mark to start sailing on the upwind leg.
Not far off, yeah, thanks. Not far off it. Whoa!
Oh, a lot going on board Tech 2.
Oh!
Look at that roundup.
Look at that between Sam Newton there and Aiden Menzies. They were practically on the same lounge chair for a while there.
Yeah, so Luke Parkinson just getting a little chicken winged on the buttons there. He said he went the wrong way with the foils, so they've just gone a little high and crashed down.
And you can see the pressure differences out there. It's so hard to handle the boats and to keep them stable. As they get more pressure, you can just see if you don't correct the rudder lift properly, the hulls really fly out of the water.
And that sloppy sailing from Euroflex has opened the door for Tech 2. Their once 300-metre lead has been scythed to less than 30. The contest is on. The battle is set.
I board up now. Keep the windward heel.
The battle's on, baby. Less than 10 metres now. And Tech 2, all they needed was a glimpse, and they're going to dial this all the way through. The Broadwater battle has only just begun, Tess.
Yeah, look, they came in with a lot of speed into the bottom mark. They did round slightly wider here, so they're going to reach that boundary first and ask for room to tack.
Stand by tack. Order! Hang on, keep going. 3, 2, 1, go board. Tacking. Aiden, wait forward. Ah!
Textbook move by Nate.
Too early again, mate.
Yep, way too early. Understood.
Too early again, mate.
Simo tack, keep your bow in front, lead them out from the boundary. So
right.
Nate says, no worries, you take your water. I'm going to be nose in front and lead you out to that next puff.
Going left-hand turn. Protest!
ID have room on the bottom mark.
No, we're good, go. Now.
Oh, just as they've caught the marker, ID have splashed down as well. A little moment of uncertainty. We'll see it again. CJ calling protest like a student in class. He got the hand up and he passed. Look how close that was. And this is what happened to Record Point after the close one. Phil.
No, we're good.
Picks it up for a second and drops it off a bit later.
Yeah, Nick, we're on the downwind run of this race here, and such a tight battle between Euroflex and Tech 2. We can see them here, 3-point foiling here, trying to make the most of these pressure lines to carry them down to the finish.
Go!
And this is the battle for third and fourth at the moment. It's float to float. It's like the Mardi Gras out there. They're really close.
So I think we got them here.
And some convergence. Tech 2 think they've got them.
Oh, it's going to be close, Tess. It's 1 of 2. It's a slingshot finish. And they're in the drink. It's a dog of a day for Tech 2. Luke Parkinson's called the protest. Aiden Menzies hanging on. Euroflex given the win.
You can see Euroflex is the inside boat here as they round the mark, so they have all rights to round the pin on the inside here. Tech 2 have to give them room there. Port starboard doesn't apply.
Starboard!
This is going to be the best angle, the boom cab.
Bail!
Whoa, flying out there.
Oh my goodness.
Starboard!
Look at that. Look how close they were. One stage I thought Sam Newton was going to land on board Euroflex.
That's just so cool. They kept the pressure on right to the end, Nick. They were gaining that whole downwind.
Oh, this will be a great angle.
You can see Euroflex a late jibe to keep that inside position, and Goobs on the front looking behind.
Those boys look like they're out on a Sunday picnic. They're not phased at all. That's incredible.
And you can see that black and white finish pin and the start boat with the orange flag mark the finish line, and ID is on the inside. And it looks like they've just crossed ahead of Record Point.
Do we get him?
Although they don't know themselves, Tess, they're just as confused as the boys on Record Point, no doubt, are, as Pavement managed to recover from their devastating start to finish in 5th. 1 second.
Right, do we need to sort out all these take-ups?
1 second there between ID and Record Point.
I was max lift on leeward board.
Well, surfer's paradise, it's turning into an outerage paradise. Euroflex managing to escape with a 1 second win over Tech 2 there, with ID claiming third prize and Record Point continuing to hunt out the big points. In race 6, it was as close as we've seen the fleet condensing on the Broadwater here. Some really close quarter racing and some really close calls.
Hey! Big mains, big mains. I need room, wait in! Come on! I have a post there!
The boys on Record Point just held course, they kept going. They had nowhere to go, that's the reality, and unfortunately, Ed Power's spinal cord had nowhere to go. It got a nice close-up inspection with the port float there.
Yeah, Nick, Record Point didn't have any inside rights, but because of the wide turn made by ID, they sent it in there.
Big mains, big mains. I need room, wait in! Come on! I have a post there!
And Phil Robertson furious, and it's fast and furious and wet wild out there. And it's business as usual for Euroflex, their glittering run on the Gold Coast. The boys sparkling into first ahead of Pavement, who took second. And Tech 2 and Record Point are in a battle for third. And it goes wrong. Neil Hunter there, the Flying Scotsman, whack onto the side of the main there. That would have really hurt as we take another look, because one's never gruesome enough. Whooshka, there he is, into the side, but into fourth position there for Record Point. Euroflex again on top, ahead of Pavement and Tech 2 on the podium, with ID and Clean Made rounding us out for race 6. We're going to play for double points, doubling down on the Gold Coast after this. Things might look relaxed in the launch pad, but it's about to explode. We're detonating with double points. It's Supercharged Sunday on the Gold Coast.
So boats racked up really tight here. You can see the orange flag and the checkered mark. That's the line. And there you go, Euroflex really punched on that line. They've got an awesome start. And Clean Made as well, gotten away nicely under the pack, and she's got her own bridge. She can sail wherever she likes.
Tech 2 here, if they can get in front of ID, they'll be able to tack in and make it around the mark.
Copy.
A lot of breeze on with this bearaway.
They haven't quite done that. They haven't shut the door. ID still can peek through, and it looks like Paul Campbell-James.
Anytime, Goobs.
Has done just that.
Go forward. I can't give you a whole fight.
ID have done a great bearaway. They've sailed into second place and they're smoking it on the downwind. They've got a nice inside lane there on Euroflex.
Yeah, for sure, the fleet can taste blood. There's been a few finishes now where Euroflex has only won by 1 second, and they're not going to have another bar of that. And they're all ganging up on them now, and you can see Tech 2, awesome foiling job right in front of Euroflex there.
Trim on!
And Record Point's just rolled over as well.
Boys.
This is like a mob mentality at the moment, trying to shut out Euroflex, and Tech 2 and Record Point working in tandem to keep the series leader staring at their wake as Euroflex builds.
Oh, a big round up on board Euroflex.
Goobs, you all right? Okay, we're back down to you.
It's Goobs again.
Goobs has gone over again, so a big cavitation there on their foils. Foils just losing grip, spinning out, and Nathan just completely losing traction, losing all his steering.
This is the moment it all went wrong for Euroflex, like a shopping trolley with a wobbly wheel. They were just going in the wrong direction fast there, and Ian Jensen's on the wrong end of it again.
They had so much speed there coming from behind. They were about to overtake Record Point and had nowhere to go but to roll into a roundup.
This is going to be a unique angle from our boom cam there. We see Ian Jensen flying off and Glenn Ashby not far behind.
Just leave the boards down. Yep, and just try and untangle the mess, and I'll just keep trying to sail it. Yep.
It is a mess back there for Euroflex. They've got some tidying up to do, some housework as ID look to exploit their mistake to the maximum. This could be the chance we've been waiting for a breakthrough win. Haven't said this all series, Tess. Euroflex in last position. The Dream Team having a nightmare run out there at the moment.
And up at the top mark, Tech 2 have overlaid. They've got to bear away and sail below the mark.
We got it, we got it. We're on the mark. We're going to be on the mark. Just let it chill. That's through, that's round the mark, right?
Yep, that's round the mark.
Back to jib.
So they've bounced over the top of it there, Tech 2. They've stamped on it. Have they picked something up, though?
And ID gets smoothly around there.
That's you, Aiden.
It's caught on the rudder, caught on that T section there. Aiden's jumping in the water, Nick.
Which side, Bet? Which side?
This is unbelievable for the second day in a row. More drama.
Which side, brother?
Involving these floating obstacles that we're using for our markers and the boys.
They're trying to figure out how to get this off as quick as they can and minimise the damage to the foils.
Race teams, this is race committee. The race is abandoned. The race is abandoned. The positions at the first gate will be the result of race number 7.
Jack, please explain how the points will unfold.
So the way that this works is that we finish with the first gate rounding. So the positions that they went through the bottom marks is what stands, and that definitely counts. And we have a new winner.
The history books will show that winner was ID Intranet. What they won't show is that Tech 2 claimed second in the most controversial of circumstances. They virtually ruined the race for everyone else and still managed to take second. More tricks up their sleeve for race 8? Let's find out.
Come on, mate. Ease, boys, twist.
Below the weight.
God, I can't see. Main on. Main on. Big main on.
Penalty to record point there. Phil Robinson's got the penalty.
Back to
Phil's
jib.
got the penalty. Jack, what was it for? How did the umpires see it on the water?
Nick, so that was Tech 2 hooking record point at the start. They luffed them up, they didn't keep clear, and as a result they got a penalty. So they've got to tack twice, so tack and tack, which they've completed. They're now clear to race.
And what a race we have on our hands. ID, the winner of the last skirmish, is battling Euroflex at the moment with Pavement not far behind.
So here we go. CJ's pretty wicked up there on port tack out to the right-hand side, and he's leading Euroflex out to that side, which is a good sign. He's going to come back off that boundary with right. So he's going to have the power in his hand here as he comes back onto starboard tack.
Go.
Almost balletic, they move through the ID and into position.
They're making that top mark easily there. They're on a nice run into the top. Euroflex tacking to windward, Pavement pretty close behind. You can see the top mark, that white mark. They're going to turn around it to the left to port.
Shades of Adelaide test where these two went toe-to-toe in some of those races, and Pavement prowling in position, ready to pounce. And what about this little battle between record points and Tech 2? They both are close, just as they were on the start.
Yeah, another big ventilation there. It's really hard to keep these boats dialed in. You see CJ just getting absolutely carted down the boundary there, and he's going to be taking meters out of Euroflex. He's going to go for a jibe here in a second. He's just on the boundary. Nathan just getting dialed in, and Pavement pulling off a really nice jibe in the top of your screen there. That's awesome work by them, and they're taking a huge chunk out of that lead as well. So they're not holding back, they're chasing down the meters.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1, wait forward.
We can see both crew going in front of the mast. That's their new jibing technique.
As we see Euroflex turn the mark.
Okay, building here.
And they're opting to follow Pavement here. Quite a slow manoeuvre as you see them just get stuck trying to get downwind here, but they've actually managed to keep it on the foils there. They've done an epic job getting around that mark. That was almost a full foiling U-turn, and they've just both overtaken ID. So ID from second into fourth here. They've had a not very good downwind at all, obviously stuck in a big lull.
They're on the final leg now. They can taste victory here on the Gold Coast.
You good? Little build and then a jibe, okay?
So much so they needed to cool things down for a brief moment.
10 seconds this way and we'll be okay.
The boats have got 3 foot straps on board. You can see the guys there helping them hang on. the windier it is, the more you need to lock your feet in so you're really attached to the boat.
Stand by, 2, 1, and tack. Very now. Got a jump.
Oh, close port starboard.
You really can't afford to go to sleep at any stage.
That was super close. Euroflex on port had to give way.
And these Superfoilers are in takeoff, blast-off mode. This is how close they were there, and it all happened so very quickly. This is almost panic stations right now for Paul Campbell-James. Evasive manoeuvres required, and thank goodness.
Got a job. Got a job.
These guys will always have an exit route if they need it.
Sorry, I just saw them at the end. Sorry.
Just on now.
Steve Thomas is chasing hard.
Just on left angle.
He hasn't yielded yet.
Take tube up top.
Is this to finish?
Yes.
Okay. Good work. Let's go before him. 2.
Pavement rolling it into a jibe.
Fine.
A lot of the boat handling is just about keeping stability and control over the boat in these strong winds.
And look at that for a visual. These guys on Euroflex are absolutely scorching.
Okay, bodies in.
Yeah, get the bodies inside and get the seat belts on.
Nice work, guys. Nice work, lads.
And there's the finish pin coming to screen, that black and white mark.
Schnitzel right there.
That's the schnitzel, Glenn. It's the whole chicken. Well done. It's a roast from those guys on the Gold Coast.
That was full on today. Nice work in the second. Yeah.
Well, it's winner, chicken dinner for Euroflex. On top there yet again. Pavement taking out second in our last race of the day on the Gold Coast, with Tech 2 falling agonisingly short of more glory. They'll finish third and on the podium overall here in second position behind Euroflex, with Record Point doing enough to hold on. Jack McCartney is with the team that have just managed to go 3 regatta wins in a row. Jack, an almighty effort.
Fantastic effort again. Bit tougher to get this one over the line though.
Yeah, it was pretty fresh today, and yeah, we had a big mishap in that first one, trying to avoid a Record Point just ahead of us and sort of sent us into a bit of a frenzy. But you know, happy to get that last race in and finish, you know, where we belong, up on top.
You look pretty under control around that last race, Glennie. What was going on?
Oh yeah, no, totally under control there. No, look, it's loose yachting. It might look under control, but I guarantee that anyone that comes and sits in our chair will be getting the ride of their life. That's for sure.
Goobs, all good in the bow. How was that down that run? A bit of porpoising, a bit of action.
Yeah, it's when the pitch changes a lot, it's quite hard to set the rake on the boards to fly you steady. So we had a bit of porpoise action going on, but good action and close racing. It's good.
So were you guys aware that the points were quite close and that if you'd finished fourth, there was a chance you might have lost that one?
I wasn't really thinking about the points, to be honest. We were just trying to get the vessel around in one piece, and you know, happy to take another win and looking forward to the next event in Bustleton.
Well done, guys.
After 3 events in, a pattern is starting to emerge. Euroflex seemingly series supremos. But the Gold Coast showed there were chinks in the front runner's armour. Next time around, we're in Bustleton, Western Australia, for the penultimate stage of the SuperFoiler Grand Prix, where we discover the series frontrunner isn't invincible after all. Then we return home to Sydney for the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final, where the first winner of the Ben Lexon Trophy will be crowned. Catch you then.
Got a job here, got a job. Got a job.
No one's blinking at the moment. Someone's got to shut their eyes.
Sorry, I just saw them at the end. Sorry, lads. Well done.